Here we are again. Welcome to a little update on the stuff I've been up to in Minecraft the last few days since the last one. Okay, so we're starting from a different place today. This is a place marker. Well, not a place marker, a sort of signpost, basically. I may have mentioned a while ago in one of these streams that this world that I'm in here, that I created, is the original one that well, it's one that I've had quite a long time, and I've got lost several times here building things and then kind of moving to different areas of the world and starting to build again, and then kind of just not being able to find my way back. And at one point I decided to set out back to, I was trying to find the original super large constructions that I'd built in one area of the world, and so I did manage to find my way back, strangely enough, but what I did was I started placing these beacons. Well, they're not beacons, but they're these essentially it's just a great big full 256 height load of sea lanterns, but the idea was that I would place these within sight of each other as kind of waypoints, basically, or sort of, so that I could follow them back to wherever I was going, and so that I could basically, on a clear day, it's a song, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, I could essentially see if I'm at one of these posts here. Look, you see the next one in the distance there. So I would build them at those kind of at regular intervals, so that as I happened upon one, I would be able to see the next one, and from here we can see this structure here, which is which is part of a little complex of stuff that I've probably shown you before, which is one of the smaller monoliths that I built. Hang on, I'm just sharing this to Facebook. Here we go again. Right. Okay. Share. Alright, let's get back onto YouTube. Alright, so I'm back. Following, so I'm my own single watcher. That's alright. That's okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is one of the smaller monolith structures that I made quite a few months ago, and I think I've shown everyone this before, but there's a temple and there's a few sort of some work that I did on this, but basically we have waypoints from this location heading back that way, and we also have one heading back this way. You can just see it hovering into view now. Now, truth be known, I actually can't remember what happens if we go this way. It doesn't help that my PlayStation takes forever to render stuff. If you can hear the fan on the PlayStation is going bananas. It's so hot tonight, but it's been a very hot week Yeah, see, there's another one in the distance there. Now, I'm not going to follow these too far along because I want to show you what's been going on in the pyramid. But so that's going to lead to something that I've done, and indeed this direction. I'll just show you the temple quickly. That's the monolith. It's a very small one, really. It is max height, but it's just small in terms of width and what I've done with it. So this is my little temple of the monolith. Another one there. These kind of weird fake floor stuff going on here, and it's basic stuff. There's nothing clever there. Anyway, so the idea with these waypoints, these beacons, was to try and find my way around the world. This is before I didn't know about the whole spawning thing with the beds and all that, and I've screwed that up anyway because I've used loads of different beds in loads of different locations, so I've kind of ballsed that up anyway. And I'd never sort of took any coordinates or anything like that, and kind of never did anything sensible like that. So basically I just built these huge towers, and so this way, there's the next one, again will lead to somewhere, and I really can't remember where in terms of what structures that I was doing, but there's been several different locations that I've kind of spent lots of time in building various things that I've been into, whether they are those huge kind of 2001 Arthur C. Clarke monoliths that I'm building, or the heated swimming pool, the floating swimming pools that I was doing a lot of. Anyway, let's go to the pyramid and see what's happening. So this particular waypoint will lead us to the pyramid. There we have a little offshoot here in the ground there, and this single block of quartz. Trench run, anyone? Luke, you've turned off your targeting computer. What's wrong? Nothing. Anyway, yeah, this little line of quartz here will should lead us into our snowy biome. It will go via my bed. This is an old spawn point, and up above is that abandoned arrow thing, whatever it was. I think I was gonna try and build a Star Destroyer, but it never really worked. And here we are at the pyramid again, and it will lead us directly into a different face of the pyramid, a different side to the other one, and obviously much lower down. So here we are, and in we go, and almost immediately you should see that we now have quite a large amount of material has been excavated below ground level. This is the exact center. It doesn't look like it because obviously it's off. The excavation is not square around it, but so yeah, we've kind of been mucking about. We are at complete ground zero here. This is as far as it goes, as you can see right down here, and we're at the bottom of the world. So this is our sort of base level, and it's a little narwhal thing. This happened by accident, actually, in that all these areas where you see these these lanterns just stuffed in the walls here. This is all me plugging up, plugging holes that were lava or water. And this one just was quite epic. But once I was finished and it was all plugged up, it kind of looked vaguely sort of like an animal, and I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll make a narwhal out of it quickly. I was with my son at the time, and he was quite happy to see the little whaley creature. But anyway, it wasn't really by design or anything. It's just this again isn't more just examples of plugging holes so that we know. I just don't like to have the the lava spills and all the stuff that gets, that happens as a result of kind of, eviscerating the material down in this kind of sheer manner. It always uncovers lava, and you can see there's lava in there, and this one here, look, and water and whatnot, and so I kind of always try and fix it. Now these sort of weird structures here are not sculptures, or they're not designs. This is actually, I've left the evidence of attempts, not attempts, I mean they were successful, but this is the work done to remove water. So what I found that happens when you do these, and this is another one over here, when you do these huge excavations and you're sort of taking these large chunks, strata out, what can happen is you get water leaks, right? You get these waters, and you get these spawn points of water. Now, because water works in a really strange way in Minecraft, it kind of follows some interesting physics, but one of the things that it has is the spawn point. So you can have vast amounts of water just flowing. Like I could go and get a water bucket, let's say. I mean, anyone who knows Minecraft knows about this, but water bucket, and I could chuck the bucket here on top of this block, right? And you see how it just spreads immediately, like there's a water source. So this, and the water source is that block there, this block here, where I placed the water originally. And so if you can imagine these structures here, this is all me trying to block off, tap off basically the water sources, because at this stage, in terms of at this size and depth, what happens is you end up with these giant sort of water mountains standing in. This one here was absolutely gigantic. It was mammoth, and it took a huge amount of work to actually destroy it. In fact, this one was unsuccessful. Just doing the plugging, I had to actually do some. I got down to I guess to this point, and it just still wasn't dispersing. And I was like, man, this is taking forever. And I thought it was probably going to just be quicker to do a fill command in the general area, right down to the floor, so from sort of up here down to the floor, and fill it with air, and just literally just zap it out of existence in one move, which took some setting up, rather than keeping sort of plugging away at trying to plug it up. But the reason why I was kind of into still doing that was you are left with these kind of weird random semi-random structures, and because I was doing it with the sea lanterns, I thought it was quite nice. But so what happens, is if I use like a different kind of block, what happens with these things is if I was to block here, it just flows over that block. You have to tap off the source, which was there, and then it all drains away. This is the weird physics of water and Minecraft. all that water just drops, and it will drop all the way to the bottom, and then it will disappear. And that's just how water works in Minecraft. So dealing with these giant sort of ghost water mountains was sort of quite a thing, and I'm sure I'm gonna have to do it again. Let's put some light on the subject. There we are. So it's going to go, there we are, and it'll just go blush, and it's gone. So very weird. And so that's what those are up there. Just attempts to do that. So I have been in the middle of working on an area up here. So I'm just trying to work my way back to the perimeter on this side. As you can see here, we are at the perimeter. This is one of the areas that I was working on from the outside in rather than inside out. I think we've been here before. I think I've shown you this stuff. So this is as far as I've got in terms of working the outside, the exterior. Yeah, all this material has to be removed or exchanged into, swapped into sandstone or whatever. And then there's going to be a ton of block work, obviously. Although that doesn't seem too daunting to me anymore, the block work. I quite like doing it, especially when I'm talking about something else. So if we sort of fly under here and get back into where we were, the interior, I just decided, seeing as I'd kind of figured out this whole fill stuff, I just decided that I would have a go at excavating the entire interior rather than leaving it as a natural landscape like I was going to do when I didn't have that option, or when I didn't know about that option. So we do now have, an even more vast interior right now, all the way up to max height. So it's becoming kind of a bit epic, but it's alright, because you sort of I just focus down on the job at hand, you just do the thing that you're doing and don't worry about anything else. But it's going to be pretty big. Still up. A little red room, and our little pools and stuff, and we're getting right up to the top. Haven't been up here for a while, actually. And there's our little, I think this is the uppermost chamber here. So this is our little bedroom, bed thing, whatever. What's that? Who's done that there? That'd be my son, I think. Sometimes I think he comes in here and has a look round. It's Hector, my son, my eldest son. Yeah, so we are at the top. Oh god, I nearly went into the old Dobalina thing there. Okay, I'm not going to get out the top. Anyway, or shall we? Oh god, I could do, I suppose. I'm just going to break this puppy. Alright, and here we are right at the top. Hector asked me again today. He said, why did I build this pyramid in a snow biome where it's got snow all over it? And I couldn't really answer him. I said, well, I didn't really mind the fact that it was snowy, but since having completed the exterior block work, at least up to down to sort of the original surface level, land level, which is about 70, elevation 70 or 75 or something like that, right up to the top here at 256. It does bother me a bit now, but this, there is literally nothing I can do about that. I don't think I'm going to at any point bother trying to clear the snow off and then find a way to stop it from snowing in a snow biome. I mean, I don't even know if that's possible. Probably isn't. So it just is what it is. In fact, I don't mind really the look of it. I was slightly concerned at how the pyramid would look with this stone, this black stone, polished black stone, if it had been just not all kind of semi covered in snow. And it sort of almost gives it a sort of a bit more texture, really, a bit more kind of believability, so to speak. I think it looks okay. Although it does bother me that this flipping causeway always gets snowed up. But anyway, there we go. It is what it is. Right. He asks me pretty much every time he sees the outside of the pyramid down. Funny boy. Okay, down we go. This is the level here that we came in at. So we have the exit all the way back to that marker point, which actually at the moment I can't remember which one it is, which way. I don't think it's that way. No. It's that way, I think. Maybe. God knows. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, it's this way. So, one of the things that was a little bit sad today was that I had to destroy something that I'd made a while ago here. I mean, it's not sad, but it's just you know how you kind of create something and you spend a bit of time on it, and it just so happened that now that the situation has changed with this excavation of land, it had to go because it was within this sort of these levels here. But it's the last of it is here. This is just basically a sort of an entrance that I was building, a sort of secret entrance kind of thing that was going to be coming in, and I'd built a whole bunch of stuff here. It was quite nice. Not too bad to lose it, but it's it's still a pain in a way. But it just needs, all this stuff needs to go now, and then we've kind of created quite a hole. But that's alright. This is what we do, right? We're trying to build these silly things. So here we are on the edge of that excavated section there. So from here on in this way, it's all got to be built, excavated and then built. But I figured that I would take this part down to floor level with that, which will inevitably give us some issues in terms of the old lava and all that stuff. Now I think, I'm not sure, but the coordinates are still laid in. So what I might try is see if we can get. It's quite a big area, so I'm finding that I can only really do it one level at a time, and you'd think that would be sort of dreadfully time-consuming and monotonous to actually do, but it's actually not too bad. I find it better to do it this way than to do you know, great depths, but not much in the way of area, you know, longitudinal area. So let's just see what happens if I kind of, where are we? 47. So let's see what we've got left here. Okay. Let's put that to 47 and see what happens. Okay. Alright. 46. And then that should take that whole, assuming we've got capacity. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was actually there, not there. Right. So that's taken one level off. Now the thing is, because I'm working in blooming space here, that's a pain. And what I might do actually is just build myself a little platform that I can, a little tower that I can reduce each time, just to keep me centered. And get underneath that. Oh. Hey. I've just seen some chat. Hey. Yeah, okay. Right. What I'm going to do is head back up to the top, take one off, and let's see if we can get rid of a whole layer nicely. Let's just try it. What am I doing again? Oh yeah. Yep, there we are. Okay, so then I would kind of go down 44, see. Now, I didn't make a note of where 8,000 bucks, okay. So we probably could go a couple of levels down, 42. Yeah, so that's working. Let's just have a little looky. Bo-da-bo-boom. Hey, is that, hey, Johnny, is that you, mate? Is that you, my fella? Do-do-do-do. Oh, right. 42. Alright. 42. Yeah. 16,000, so yeah, I might be able to do 3. So 40. Nope, that was too many. Just too many. Okay. That's a shame. Let's try that again. There we are. Yeah. I mean, it's a big area. It's all the way over the other side. Over there. 37, 2. 35. What am I doing? Hang on. There we are. So let's go and have a little look at the see if anything. Yes, there's some water there. Some lava. Yeah. So normally I'd kind of try and plug these up. See, this one's again, lava's even weirder than bloody water. You know, it's but they all seem to, all the sort of fluids in the game have these properties, these where, you know, if you cut off the source, they will just then dissipate, which I find kind of weird. But then it's kind of handy that it does that rather than just, you know, do anything other than that. So what's the alternative? You know what I mean? This water is not really much of a problem, but I might as well block it off. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to our little spot and take some more. What's this here? Oh, of course, this is all this. So I'm going to be left with some. It's going to take a long time to do this, but it doesn't matter. That's all right. Okay, where are we at? 35. What am I doing? Save inventory. It's because I'm on this blooming tower. I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, let's get it. Let's get it going. Sorry if this is visually really boring. It kind of this is kind of bad because because I'm stuck in mid-air, you know, and looking down. I can't sort of you can't see what's actually. It is actually doing something. It's pulling this layer by layer or 2 layers at a time downwards. So won't be long before we're down with the at the bottom level. So let's just rock down there. So it's settled on 2 levels at a time. It is what it is. It's not great because it's only doing 16,000 blocks, so it's almost, I can almost double that, but it's not going to work. If I add another, if I do 3, I'm not sure it's going to work. It might do. If I take 2 off that to 25, no, it's just over, you know, 36. So, oh well. Yeah. So it's a bit of a pain that it's like that. What I could do is do it from here. I do it from this corner here, and then just do this as a separate section afterwards. Do it into the 2 stages, so to speak, because then I could take bigger bites out of it. But I mean, like this. I mean, I can kind of show you what I mean if I come here, because I'm using the tilde thing. It doesn't matter where you are. You know, it's your relative location that it's working. So I could probably go 3, and yeah, that's taking that off nicely. and then we would do this bit in a separate thing. Maybe we'll do that because it probably looks better. So let's do that. Let's drill down and take our. Yeah, so that was 18,000. So we could probably do a bit more than that. Maybe that would be too much. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. This game, honestly. Alright. Oh, come on, you jerk. What am I doing wrong? 14, position 14. Oh, I know why. It's because I'm got the wrong freaking... I need to move that down. You twat. So tonight, we had the Retrofest live stream tonight, on which the signatures had a set, and unfortunately, I watched the first 2 or 3 songs, and then I had to leave to go and run some errands. But yeah, we basically did a live set from the studio in Ongar, from the Catman Boogie studio, and just over. God damn it. Oh, that's why. Oh, silly boy. Right, let's put it down to 14. That should be fine. Alright. Oh, loads of lava. And yeah, so it was last week, I think, or the week before last. Yeah, we had our film guy Sam, set the cameras up, and we had multiple angles and lights and all the rest of it, and we did a sort of short set with it, and it was a stripped back set because there was only 5 of us. There was only Steph on vocals and bass, drums, keys, and guitar, and so we couldn't have the horns, and we couldn't have the BVs, and etc. etc. But our percussion. In fact, weirdly, we've the situation with percussion is that we have a new percussionist joining us, but I have yet to meet her because of the whole COVID thing. It's I'm still out, aren't I? What am I doing? Getting distracted. Yeah, so she came in and did some sessions for the album, but obviously those sessions were completed sort of like most kind of session stuff happens, in that you're not always everyone present. I live an hour and 10 minutes away from the studio, and so I'd obviously done all my stuff, and we did a see, I'm blocking off this lava, and I shouldn't really bother. It doesn't really make much odds, but it's a bit close to me actually, so anyway. So we're at level 8. Yeah, So so the percussion sessions were sort of done, you know, just, I think just before lockdown. Well, I guess it must have been just before lockdown. Anyway, so we'd already kind of done our stuff, and the you know tracks were in sort of limbo, so to speak, awaiting the various other elements. I think we laid down essentially the core band, the core kind of bass, drums, guitar and keys and vocals, or at least a guide vocal, were laid down in the studio first, and then we kind of started adding all the other stuff in as elements later. But of course that means you're not always there. I mean, it's just the way it is. So we have the album sort of it's really close to being finished. But we did a sort of stripped back set for the Retrofest, and that broadcast tonight, they've been going all day, and you know, it's been brilliant. We've played Retrofest 5 years in a row. It's a really great event. There's two of them. There's one in Newbury and one in Newark, and it's just a really cool festival with lots of, you know, if you're into your retro gear, the retro vibe, you know, your retro cars and clothing and music and all whatever, it's definitely a place to go. And of course, the whole thing was, you know, shut down this year like everything else has been due to the COVID situation, and so the organisers decided to do this virtual festival. I've seen a few people do that kind of thing. Recently, the Stone Foundation did a good one, and they had various kind of folks tuning in, you know, kind of dialing in and doing their bit. So that was really cool. Right, I don't know, I'm not going to bother with that bit of bloody lava. Alright, let's put the floor in and move on to the next little bit that's needing doing. Okay, so let's go down to naught and just edit this so that it says sandstone. Yeah, so our thing went out just before 6 today. Short set, stripped back. It's pretty cool. And it was good. Actually, it sounded alright. Yeah, it's a different. Hello. It's a different. What's happened here then, Ben? What have you done here? Something went awry. Okay, let's do that again, and try and get that. There we are. Yeah. Where was I? Let's get rid of these lights now that we've got extended the perimeter. Oh man, I've so done it wrong. It's supposed to have been, I've just noticed this. It's supposed to be quartz. Okay, we'll change that. Come on, you. Break. Every time I every time I say break like that, I then catch myself because I'm thinking, you know, you're quoting Dune right now. I don't know. It's just one of those things that you do when you're into movies and stuff, and you just sort of find the quotes of movies working into normal speak so fluidly. It just happens, you don't even know it. I did a commentary the other day with my Film Utopia buddy Stephen Hurst, and we decided to do the commentary thing with Weird Science, the 85 John Hughes movie, and it's, you know, and we're both big fans of that film, and of course it's just a quote fest, you know. We just, the whole thing was just like, you know, one quote after another, and hopefully we talked about a few pertinent things that were not just quoting the movie, otherwise that would be really boring to listen to. But it's just one of those films, if you dig it, you just quote it, especially Bill Paxton's stuff as brother Chet. You know, he's such an arsehole, excuse my language, but he's just brilliant, and everything he does is gold, and very, very quotable. So okay, quartz block, are we good to go? Let's have a look. There we are. Okay, has it done it correctly? Have I done it correctly, or have I mucked it up? No, I've mucked it up because it's too high. Oh god, Ben, what are you doing, man? There's no undo as far as I can tell either, so one has to oh, it's done it too. Oh, you twat face. No, I'm not going to do that, don't worry. Okay, let's sort this out. Okay, I can do this. I know how to do this. I just got to take that back, swap it for air, and move that to position 1, elevation 1, and that should be, yes. Phew. Okay, there is a serious lack of light at the moment, so we will sort that out with a bit of this. Now I might actually try and use some of the void creatively if I can. I mean, I tried to do that over there in the middle, that point there where there's a little bit of it. I might actually expand that and make it a little more meaningful, because at the moment it's only a couple of one block, you know. But so there we are, and I've been doing the perimeters as well. Now, one thing is that we've got a change here from quartz block to sandstone. And that's okay. I mean, this is I just happened to do this as sandstone originally, and so we're going to have to figure something out in terms of how to do that nicely. This will be our perimeter eventually. So now what I can do to just quickly blitz this little section down is just to hit up our coordinates again. Oh, just make a note of where we are. What level we're 21. Okay. And then we can just figure that out. Yeah. Oh. Okay. I've just done that. One of those. Yep, that's not quite right, Ben, is it? Nope. Okay. We'll figure it out. Alright. Let's go down to here. Level 20, and we'll do it from. That needs to come up a little bit. 22. There we are. Alright. Okay, so we can just work this down now. 20. That's too much. Of course it is. What am I doing? That'll work. Yeah. Ooh, there we are. And we're 18 dash 16. Yeah, 2 layers is all we can do, I guess. Is that right? Or have I fucked up again? Excuse my language, my goodness. Yeah. I still find it a little bit like, it surprises me, you know, things happen and I go, I wasn't expecting that. 14. That's working. Okay. You know, I'll do something, I think, well, I don't know, I wasn't expecting that result, you know. Surely we can go down another level. Yeah, it's always over. I don't really know. See, I don't understand why it's because of the air, I suppose. It's because of the air that already exists, the voids that already exist, not counting, and then you kind of think that you're not filling in very many blocks. Okay, so we've got some lava here, water. I'd like to avoid these giant bloody towers of water again, because that was a pain. See, that's the see, that's not the source. That's the source. Weird. You uncover it again and it's gone. Another source there, there. Yeah. Very weird. Where's this water coming from? It's coming from right there. So block it off and it all just disappears. I mean, it's kind of handy that it does that, but it's sort of, you know, it's weird too. Let's get some light. Random light. Alright. It's pretty big in here. I do wish the clouds would bugger off there. I'm not really into having clouds run through my interior spaces, but I'm not really sure there's a setting for that. Okay, so let's blitz this down to ground level, ground 0, 12. Ooh, lava time. Alright. So yeah, the broadcast went out anyway today, and I watched it. I caught up with it when I got home later on. I caught up with it. I watched the rest of it, and yeah, it was good. It was good. Some really nice comments coming up. People watching and enjoying the show, and we were so rusty. I mean, yeah, we haven't played since, you know, we entered March, and we had the very first theatre show with Lorraine Silver, which was great, and it was like, you know, we were really excited about doing this run of theatre shows with her all over the country, and we did the first one. And it was a really good show. We we're really good, and we had all kind of, you know, we were all like bursting with sort of, excitement about it and ideas about, you know, what went right and what went wrong, and, you know, what we can improve. I mean, nothing went wrong, but it was like the one I tell you, the little story. You know, how you can sort of you plan these things, a stage, what you're going to have, you know, curtain up this and lights down, and, you know, we're going to make our way to the stage and da 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 da. And until you actually do it one time, you don't know how it's going to go, and and there could be something you're not rehearsals, right? But we didn't have time for that. We didn't do a dress rehearsal of any kind. So what am I doing? I don't even need to do that because I can just bloody blitz it. Yeah, so the one thing that happened is we were going, okay, well, when lights go down, we've got this intro, and lights go down, and we'll go on stage and get in place, and then we have our little introduction that will come through the on the PA, and then we, lights up, and we're into our first number, and that all sounded marvelous until I realised that this particular theatre, when the lights were out, they really meant out. It was black. It was completely dark, pitch dark. Couldn't see a damn thing, nothing. And we made our way onto the stage, and I made my way all the way over to where my gear is. And of course, I've got pedals and I'm old school. I don't have a power supply or anything. I don't have a fancy pedal board with a power supply and all that kind of jiggery pokery. I've got a bloody I've got a Love Tone Big Cheese fuzz pedal, which I adore, on the floor there, and next to that is a Boss wah, digital wah, which I don't adore, but it is very reliable. And I've had decades of experience with bloody crybaby wahs to know that I don't want to have those scratching and itching their way into my sound like they do. Now, I mean, it's a classic wah sound, don't get me wrong, blah blah blah. I've owned a ton of them, but I just find that they wear out quickly, and you have to kind of change the pots on them, or get the old switch cleaner or whatever it is. You gotta fix them because they get really scratchy, and because it is like a tone pot or whatever. It's a pretty simple mechanism, sort of rack and pinion type sort of setup thing. The pedal goes up and down, and it turns the tone knob up and down, and but they wear out, and they get noisy and scratchy, and so I bought the Boss one years and years ago. Absolutely, I've had it so long, and it's been super reliable, and most people probably can't tell the difference, so I just use that one, and it's fine. But of course, that's on batteries. The Love Tone's on batteries, and of course, to conserve battery life, I unplug the pedals, when I'm not using them. I don't leave them plugged in. So I made my way over to, and the normal thing that I would do at a gig is obviously first thing I do is plug all my pedals in, and get ready, switch on, blah blah blah. And so this particular time I had to do all that, and it was pitch freaking dark. It was and it was bloody difficult to do, actually. I had to do everything by as quickly as I could, by feel alone, and just luckily I had left the cables sort of vaguely in the correct positions, so that it was sort of obvious where they went. But even so, it was I was sort of inwardly laughing, especially because that little pause of darkness while the audience waited for us to do something kind of went on a little bit too long. And it was mainly my fault, because I'm kind of desperately trying to plug my stuff in and get up on stage and put my guitar on. So we made a few notes about how to improve things next time, and then we had a and then we had a March of the Mods charity show. That was in Lincoln, I think. The March of the Mods is a thing that we've supported for years and years, ever since I've been in the band, 5 years. Every March, it's for Teenage Cancer Trust, and so we kind of do 1, 2, 3, however many gigs in the month of March to in aid of it all over the country, Scotland, that kind of thing, and it's great. We love doing the March of the Mods. Really, it's been a really good experience doing that, and it's nice to think that you're helping a good cause. I'm not the super charity type, I don't kind of I'm not that kind of person who's into everything, and so it's nice for me to kind of think that I'm doing a considerable bit when we do these March of the Mods gigs. So we had there was that one show with Lorraine, and a theatre show, and the March of the Mods gig, and then we were, it was before the next gig, which was the following Friday. It all went, we went lockdown. So that was that. So getting into the studio the other week, we had a little rehearsal the week before, and that's all difficult as well, because obviously we were all masked up and whatnot, and we're trying to observe, the various kind of rules and regs, so to speak. We're trying to kind of be a bit careful, make sure that we're that's why we only decided to do the stripped back 5-piece. We just couldn't, even though the studio is pretty big and the live room's quite big, we just didn't feel like we could safely have everyone in there. And I was going to say sort of particularly the horns, but it's not really. It had an interesting. There's an interesting subject in that. I was talking to our saxophonist James a few nights ago. We also did a thing recently where we signed. We had a garden session over at Gavin Sharon's house, the drummer and backing vocalist, stroke tambourinist, stroke van driver supreme, Sharon, and over at their place, because we had all these vinyl copies of the single that we put out come in, and of course we've got all these pre-orders, and we promised to sign them all, and this was all before before COVID thing happened, and so of course we were then faced with, oh well, how the hell are we going to sign all these singles when we can't get together, so we sort of arranged this kind of socially distanced thing at Gab's and Sharon's house, and we all went over there and did our signing. But so those have now gone out, all those singles, which is good. I've seen a few Facebook posts today of people who have received them, and very happy about that. It's really amazing being in a band that has fans. It's a weird thing. I experienced that quite early on in my life with a rock band that I was in the 90s that had a very strong local following. This is pre-internet, so we didn't really have anyone in sort of far-reaching areas, or anyone in the really in any other parts of the country, really, because we were a band that kind of played in the local East Anglian area in the UK, and but in that area we had a very strong following, a very dedicated following of fans who would follow us around the various pubs and clubs and whatnots that we played. And that was an interesting. Yeah, I was quite young when I was in that band, and sorry, I'm just going to manually fill this bit in because it's not worth mucking about. And it was a strange thing to sort of bump into someone wearing your band's t-shirt and stuff like that. It was sort of, and you get to know people, and it's even more, and it's even more pronounced with the, much more pronounced with the signatures, in that, we've got people all over the country, people in other countries, and a real lovely bunch of folks who are, very, very supportive, and just really nice, really good. It's just amazing to feel like you've kind of made that kind of connection with people through music. It's an interesting thing. I can't imagine what it must be like for someone who's on the kind of grand scale. Although maybe it's not as, I don't know, maybe it's kind of weird when you get to that sort of, when you get to the sort of Taylor Swift type level. It's so kind of, I don't know. I saw a clip of her meeting and greeting some Japanese fans a while ago. I think it was in her documentary film thing that she did, which I did actually take the time to watch, and I enjoyed it. It was all right, and these fans were just beside themselves, in that way that when you used to watch the old footage of Beatles fans, just being utterly unable to function because they were in the presence of their idols. I don't get that at all. I don't have that chip. I mean, one of my biggest guitar heroes growing up was Steve Hillage, who played. He was part of the whole Canterbury scene in the 70s. Played with Gong, and then went solo. Did a number of albums that I was exposed to as a nipper, thanks to my brother, and I adore his playing and his compositional style and everything about him, really. And he's about as big an idol as I've got in terms of guitar playing, and I was very, very fortunate to be able to interview him for the music website that I occasionally write or review stuff for. This is some years ago now, and and it sort of occurred to me, I was excited and nervous as hell. Actually, I was nervous as hell about talking to him, wondering what to say and how to conduct myself, and sort of how fanboy I wanted to, do you know what I mean? I didn't want to kind of suddenly start gushing and going on about my favourite record of his or whatever. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be an interviewer, but I wanted to talk about his music and be, and make it clear to him that I was knowledgeable about it and all the rest of it. But he was really nice. In fact, I remember when I made the call, it took him a while to answer, even though we'd obviously arranged a time. So it wasn't an in-person interview, by the way. It was over the phone, and and when he finally answered, he was so kind of disarming, because he was like, "Hello," and I was like, "Oh, hello, Steve. This is Ben Pegley here from Glasswork," and da 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 da, and he was like, "Oh yeah, okay," and he was just totally cool and down to earth, and instantly sort of instantly kind of how I'd hoped he would be, really. And but this is one of the guys that I just this this is why I can't understand the kind of, like those two Japanese fans of Taylor Swift there in that movie, or any of the Beatles sort of stuff that you would see in the archive, or Beatles documentaries or whatever. I don't get that. I don't get that kind of way of. In fact, I find it sort of like a sort of it's demeaning. It's kind of like I don't know. I maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe my ego is too big to feel like I could subjugate, and be like that towards another human being, no matter who they are. Don't know. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it's one thing to be polite and be respectful and all the rest of it, and it's another thing to just kind of do that. I don't know. I can't get it. Anyway, so we've done this little bit now. I'm not going to do any more of that right now. We're over the hour mark, well over. So I'm going to head outside because it's getting claustrophobic in here. So we'll head out and head off in one direction or another. I'm not sure which. In fact, why don't we go this way? Oh, look at that. It does look nice. I just want to get more light in here. I'm not sure how to do it. But in fact, actually, talking about the void, I don't know whether you noticed while I was doing all this stuff, every time we smashed through to the void, because it's daytime. I have it set to always day at the moment, just so I don't have to worry about switching it back all the time. You do get this little boost of light. So maybe that is the answer, and that I somehow utilize that light that happens for free when you cut through the floor into the void. Maybe in areas that aren't next to sea lanterns, but you know what I mean. Look, if we kind of break it, so you get this instant pool of light there just by breaking through. You could probably create some quite interesting shapes and textures there doing that. It might be interesting to have a little experiment with some of that. However, if I was to sort of suddenly just get rid of all of this and just go, okay, well, let's just have this vast amount of void light. I don't actually, because I've not tried that, I don't know whether it would be hugely, whether that light would be effective sort of further up here, whether it's, again, it would be like it is with the sea lanterns and anything else, in that it's really localized, And I mean, and it's just because of the scale of things, really. I mean, that, you can see that this bit of light here, this pool of light is actually quite big. It's not tiny, but it's just when you are on such a grand scale as this, everything becomes relatively tiny and insignificant. And so one has to rethink, or at least try and sort of figure out other solutions, which I haven't done, to be fair, on this particular subject. Now, where are we going? Gonna go, is it this one? Yeah, it's obscured by these flipping trees. I might have to destroy them. I mean, in due time I will anyway, but so let's head out into the Alright. Bye pyramid. Okay, let's head past my Betty Boys. Head back to where we were. Now I think that I think that at some point I really need to take some time to get my house in order, so to speak, and come on, render in. God. Yes. Can we do that, please? Oh, it's got stuck. Come on. You gotta love it when this happens. Finally. Come on, dude. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the time to re-explore the these waypoints, you know, and kind of just bite the bullet and you know, head off this way, and you know, yeah, head off and see where we get to. Whether this will lead me to one bit or a different bit, or what it is, and just so I kind of know. But it just takes so long, you know. I mean, look at this rendering time. This is bad, and so to add that to the mix in terms of having to sort of sit here and wait for it all to bloody render in before I can head out again. So there we are. We can just see the next one there. It is a giant pain in the ass, and so I don't relish the idea of having to do this, but I do have to do it at some point, because I'd like to be able to maybe set it up so I can TP maybe between these points. Sorry, my son keeps saying TP, which I guess is teleport. But I'm not going to do that now, because god damn it, that's going to take, and believe me, there's at least sort of 15, maybe 20 of these things or more in this direction. It's a long way between this area where the pyramid is and whatever's this way, which I can't remember whether it's my original location where I built all the Arthur C. Clarke stuff, or what. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm not sure who was on. It may have been Johnny, may have been on, but thank you anyway. I can't see it at the moment, but here we are. This is what I do at silly o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to head back this way, because I'm definitely not going further that way. And until the next time, hopefully have some more of that floor excavated out by the next time I do one of these streams. I don't want to kind of do a complete sort of, you know, blow by blow, you know, coverage of the work, because it's a lot of it is, you know, obviously it's pretty boring, some of it. Well, you know, so I'm kind of holding on to that a little bit, and just kind of streaming when I've actually sort of done something significant, just so that I've got something to show you. Okay, so I guess as I'm heading back to the pyramid, I don't really know why I am, but I am. I'm gonna go and I don't know. Oh man, this rendering is painful. Come on. I am very much still excited about finishing this project, I have to say. I haven't lost my sort of impetus with it, or my kind of enthusiasm for it. I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing it finished, though, and seeing it sort of full size, so to speak. This little section, if it will ever render in, the little section that I've done so far, here. Oh, come on. You know, gives me a little look into the future, so to speak, of how it's going to look once it's done. And what, you know, I mean, ideally, what I'd like to do is not have this stupid great, you know, ditch that it's sitting in. I'd rather that, you know, this was all this land was gone, you know. But that, again, the daunting idea of that is not one that I relish. So it'll have to be sitting in a little thing. And weirdly, you know, most of the other giant pyramids that I've seen other people have made have done similar things, and maybe I'll kind of try and expand it out. But I just got to get the thing done at least to this point, all the way around. You know, and it's a big job, and for some reason I've kind of been distracted from that inside by going inside and doing all that. But whatever, we'll get to it. Right, folks. Good night and sleep tight and all that smooth stuff. See ya.